What's good, everybody? Before we get started on today's conference championship preview, big ups to the members of the Patreon. We got Arabia, Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Thomas Robinson, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Devin Rendon, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Nick Crummage, Nicholas Messina. Thank you all for your contributions to the Patreon, patreon.com/veterans minimum. George, what do we ask for?
$1 American a day, people. That equates to 2 coffees in a year. That goes a long way to helping support the show and getting you guys the exclusive community that we've built on Discord. And it's where you get all the picks. So $1 American a day. That's all we want.
Yeah. It's a month.
Yeah. Did I say a day?
Yeah. A day would be crazy.
I was trying to get him, though.
You were trying to get him? Okay, damn.
No. You're one a month. Let me not.
Yeah,
Okay. $1 a month, 2 coffees in a year.
Yeah, you don't even realize that on your statements. $1. That's it. Just one American dollar. Patreon.com/veterans minimum. We're excited for today's show. We got some fan questions talking about best pickup lines. Ooh. We're talking about Cam Newton saying he don't got no money, which is wild because he's made $133 million just off his NFL contracts alone. Then we give out our plays for the NFC and AFC conference championship games. Fun discussion. Anytime touchdown parlay plus 108,000.
Jesus.
Insane. Sit back, relax. Let's get into the show. Play the theme music.
Nick Dab, baby. We the new label. Yeah. Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby. Never in hand, just understand my pockets that deep. With nothing to prove, I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose.
Yes. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet, Veterans Minimum. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Make sure you follow us, rate, review, subscribe, share, tag, follow. If I said that already, George, what else?
Comment.
Comments is good. Yeah. TikTok is back.
Yeah, TikTok is back. And just in case, you're worried about it shutting down again, just download all our videos as well, because that way, if it shuts down, you could already have all the videos in your camera roll. You already know you're paying for extra storage, so just add us to that plan.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Shout out to TikTok being back, because of all the platforms, that's the one that we get a shitload of engagement on.
Yes, we do.
I used to be pro Instagram, which I like Instagram also. Very nice on the eyes. A lot of nice things, especially my feed is crazy. My feed is jiu-jitsu, betting, WWE, as I'm sporting my Stone Cold Steve Austin jacket, one of the best to ever do it, the best to ever do it, and then like a shitload of Colombian chicks. Like all the captions are in Spanish. I don't even know what they're saying, but I'm in.
You had to click C translation at the bottom.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the same shit that all these other girls are writing, and you're damn.
But it's in Spanish, and you're like,
that's hotter.
Dale, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're in there. But also, like, on a serious note, TikTok, we do get a lot of engagement, and shout out to social media manager George.
Thank you.
Been crushing it, and there's been a nice sort of would you say carryover or people finding us on TikTok to then coming over to the show, which has been great.
Yes.
So yeah, I've become pro TikTok now, man.
It's my favorite thing to be like, hey, we addressed this in our most recent episode, the links in the bio. It's like the perfect response to all these. Now it's Commanders fans. I think we've officially upset them beyond belief. They didn't even take our apology. By the way, was that like, we respected the greatness that Jaden Daniels put on. But at the same time, it was the first clip that we posted after all these Commanders fans were like, fucking, I'm back. They were commenting on other shit, A favorite thing to see on TikTok is people commenting about a video on a video that has nothing to do with that video.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
Did you notice how last week, not a single Texans fan? Where are the Texans fans at now? Last week, you don't know what you're talking about. This week, crickets.
Well,
Funny how that works, right? When you slander someone's team or you pick against someone's team. My favorite thing in the betting space, right? Absolute favorite thing in the betting space. It's I feel like politics and sports betting content are like kind of a landmine of fucking
hatred,
explosives. Like
yes.
everywhere you look, right?
Yes.
And when you pick in favor of someone's team, they love it. When you don't know what you're talking about. And then when you're right, maybe it's a week later. Like the Lions, I was wrong for 18 weeks. Week 19, the boy was validated. Right? But you don't hear a peep. Throughout the year, it's, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. But then when it happens, it's like the Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
you know, Hulk Hogan is under a lot of fire nowadays for many, many reasons. We'll leave for another podcast. But, you know, he's doing the ear thing. And we're like, yo, where you at now?
Yeah.
Crickets. So, yeah, now that it's the Commanders fans.
Well, Nick,
that's why I want to give a shout out to Minnesota Vikings fans. Because it's the only fan base I've ever experienced in my life that when we praise their team, they were like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like counterintuitive of every other fan base.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and we're going to be on the lookout, and we'll give you guys the report back on like what the fan bases are truly thinking. You know, Nick, it's hard to get service out there in Cancun, believe it or not. So all these fans that are on the beach enjoying the mimosas, yeah, I wouldn't respond either. I wouldn't respond either. And I do have the time if I'm in Cancun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see this week if the Commanders fans shut up, because I know we'll get into it a little bit later, but we'll cover the Eagles-Commanders game pretty heavy today. And I'm not going to be too kind on the boy.
Yeah, not a lot of trends in favor of the Commanders this week. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what we haven't done in a while?
What?
We haven't taken fan questions. And this week, I figure since we are pretty much talking about the conference championship games, we know what we're going to be discussing. There's a couple of interesting topics, both of which kind of hit close to home or are just interesting topics. Like people like when they get to know more of our personalities. So one of the questions comes from Shannon. Shout out to the 22%ers. Nick and George. One of you is single. The other one is in a relationship. What are your best pickup lines, and what did you use, George, in particular, to score your, quote, +1, quote, Nick voice? Because I call everyone a +1.
Yeah. Damn, man, you're making me. I didn't think I was going to have to go back to like that pickup line. It was on Twitter, believe it or not.
No, it's not a surprise anymore, bro. You know, like everyone now meets online, right?
Yeah, but this was 2013.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't want to fuck that up. It might have been 20. It was 20. Yeah, it was 2013.
You know what we'll do? We'll throw a beep in this.
Oh, you're a genius.
Yeah, I'll throw a beep.
Remember the time code. So
time codes. Dom, okay. Time codes.
But yeah, no, I DM'd her, hey, can I have your phone number?
Straight to it.
Straight to the point. And at that point in time, we were riding the same bus together. So the eye contact was already made.
Okay.
Eye contact was made.
Set the tone.
Then it was the DM slide. And then she had a boyfriend at the time too. So, you know, I had to.
Whoa, you dirty dog.
Oh, dude, we were hated in high school.
Wow. I didn't know this about you.
Yeah. So
I kind of like it.
Dude, I mean, I was being respectful about the situation, so much so, Nick, that I had offered him condoms. I was like, hey, like, because I got word that they hadn't done it yet. I mean, mind you, I was advanced. So 8th grade year for me, I had already experienced the other side. So I offered him condoms because I was like, man, this is weird. Like, why doesn't this kid want to, you know, why does he want to smash? Hey, sometimes you got to smash. And so I offered him that. Then he definitely knew that Cameron and I were having deeper conversations. And yeah, I just, I waited. They broke up. She came on the bus crying one day, Nick.
Oh, and you were in like fucking sweeping off her feet, right? Right place, right time, baby. I love it.
Oh, I was sitting next to her on the bus that day for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. But
so with a DM slide.
With the DM slide, and it was getting the phone number to just multiple forms of communication. If I really like you, I'm going to follow you everywhere. I may message you everywhere just so I know. I'm like, all right.
When you say follow me everywhere, you mean like social media?
Correct.
All right,
Correct.
just saying nowadays,
Correct.
you saw the dude that got arrested following Caitlin Clark.
No.
He followed her, but like physically. So just wanted to save you a little.
Got you. Did Caitlin like see him? Like that's awareness on 99, bro.
Yeah,
If you're, like,
Madden all the way up on the
She's-
fucking awareness.
eyes on the back of her head. Shit, and she was with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, crazy. I don't know if it
Could've been
happened
a
then,
twofer.
but like, yeah, she had a stalker. But yeah, I was just busting. your
Interesting.
balls about
Yeah.
following everywhere.
So that's the story. What's your best pickup line?
I have a couple, and both work in person and online.
Okay.
I'm pretty aggressive. Like I do small talk, but I want to get to the point.
Yeah.
You know,
What are some things that you would not say? Just so.
I usually just start a conversation is like the best.
Got it.
I don't like leading with like how they look. I like sort of
Yeah, that's bold.
talking about whatever it might be. Shit, I've used a lot of it just comes off the top of the head as like, I see them out if they have sneakers on. I'm like, damn, yo, 11s. I was like, I fuck with it. I'm a big fist bump guy.
There we go.
Fist bump, high five, all that shit.
Yep.
My absolute best pickup line, and I swear to God, I swear on the Saquon Barkley 25-1 Offensive Player of the Year ticket, this has worked every single time. It has at least initiated a conversation. Whenever I'm out in public, and like you said before, you were on the bus and you guys always like made eye contact, and you make eye contact once, twice, 3 times. Eventually, you're like, all right, there's something there.
For sure.
I gotta at least say something.
Mm-hmm.
I just go up to them and I'll be like, it's corny, I know, but it's literally, it's batting 1,000. Like no one in the MLB playoffs has ever hit this well. I'm just like, yo, ain't your parents tell you it's rude to stare? And then they'll be like, no, it's not like that. Or the best is if they're like, well, I didn't grow up with my dad. And I'm like, whore. One. And another time I'm like, all right, I could save her. Now I'm in. But it works. It works every time, bro. Because always they're like playful. They're like, no, I don't mean it like that. I think you're cute or whatever. I'll be like, yo, I'm Nick. Nice to meet you. And then I'm in. I've already started the conversation. It's literally worked every single time, bro.
Yeah, because it puts them on the defense. There's no. I mean, I guess you would get an answer sometimes if they're like, no, I wasn't staring at you. And then they could like walk off like.
Well, yeah, I'll have like a follow-up to that too.
Correct.
Yeah. And then it's like fun. It's not too like, it's like a playful flirt.
Yeah, it's not
overly aggressive. I'm laughing while I'm saying it. You know what I mean? Like that, I'm telling you, bro, it's worked. It's batted 1,000.
I like that as an entering mechanism. I also just like know this, and this is just basic human life. You just got to listen to what the other person is somewhat talking about and find a way to work yourself into that conversation. It's a skill that most podcasters, if you are worth a shit, you would have it. You can listen. Oh, let me just interject with something that is halfway connected to what you're talking about. And then before you know it, we're talking, and then you're in there. But that's just basic human talk.
Yeah, in DMs
It's so much tougher in DMs. When you're gonna reply to like something that they posted or like, but not.
So let me ask you
in a sexual way.
So
but
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
and I would love for you guys to chime in. We're gonna post this clip. Dom, get ready to clip this because I've debated this with people. What is a DM slide? Is it a cold turkey DM where like it's the white background, you're not replying to a story, or is it replying to a story that's sliding in the DMs? Because for me, sliding in the DM is I hit send message and the whole background is white.
I get what you're saying.
Or it's black in the dark mode if you have that on your phone, but like you haven't engaged in a conversation at all. That's what I think a DM is. And mine, when I lead in like that, I'll say dumb shit like, yo, I've been told we should meet.
I've been told we should meet. But I don't think that's creative enough. But I agree with you.
Yo, all right, so that's not batting 1,000. I've been left on red, which unbelievable, by the way. You leave me on red. That's a disgusting act. But on the other hand, it's like probably batting like 62% in the sports betting space, bro.
Oh, yeah, bro.
We're taking out loans for this.
Hey, listen, you said that with conviction, brother. All right. Yeah. I haven't used it, so I have to take your word for it. It's hitting. If you wouldn't say it like that, you were left on red every time. So, okay.
What about?
It reminds me of those text messages that you get of like the Asian girl that's like, "Hi, remember we had our meeting?"
Yeah.
And you're like, No, I don't actually. So yeah.
So what is a DM slide though, on a serious note?
A DM slide.
What would you define it as?
It has to be. I call those the same. Like I literally think that replying to the story and the first message is the same, especially if you've never talked to the person before. Because then it relates back to what I'm saying. You see something on the story, you send the reply based on what the story is going. You have a conversation, and before you know it, we're at coffee.
Yeah,
right. Like that's the way I would see it playing out. So I think they are the same. I don't think a Snapchat is sliding into the DMs. I think that's just weird.
Yeah, I'm not on Snapchat. I have a Snapchat, but I haven't opened it up. Like, my one friend told me, he's like, yo, every like month, you'll just post like Dais. Be like, is this thing on? And I'll just put it on like my story. Just because there's so many social media apps, and like, I don't know. I used to like Snapchat, but then just getting busy with everything. And I like TikTok, I think, the most. TikTok and Instagram are 1A, 1B.
For sure. But I think it's Instagram's the DM sliding capital of the world. It's all through Instagram. They have the best messaging platform, I think, for a reason. You can funnel through who's serious, the bullshit, rather easy. So, yeah, that's good. I have a couple of pickup lines written here that
tell me.
I read online that I thought were fucking hilarious. The first one is, are you a communist? Because I'm feeling an uprising in my lower class.
I'll say on this is sometimes, my absolute favorite thing. I don't know if I told Isaiah. I know I told Jory this, and he said I'm a demon. Whenever I talk to a girl, and then like eventually we stop talking, like even if it's on good terms, how I am. I'm petty.
Yeah,
just a little bit. If they have attractive friends and they pass the test, the theory, which I'm very grateful if you do pass it, I'll go on their friend's post and tag the girl I used to talk to and be like, do the right thing.
That's demon mode shit, bro.
Are you gonna set this up, or like I'll write on comments too. I'll write on comments.
Of course. Everybody's notified at that point.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a ding.
I'm supposed to apologize. I find you attractive and I would like to take you to dinner. Stay single then.
Very true.
End up 40 and alone. I told you I put the hex on one girl. She's 38 now. Single.
Yeah, man. You're 1-0 in hexes. Be careful, ladies.
Just be careful. Just be careful.
Yeah, so I went 0 for 2. I have one more. I can't play hide and go seek with you because it'd be too hard to find someone like you.
Whoa. That could work. I think that could work.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
Bro, I really think like if you said the top one, are you a communist? Because I'm feeling an uprising in my lower class, but you said that in like a Russian bar, you're getting laid. Yeah.
Yo, you know what I asked my dad one time? I was like, yo, how'd you spit game to mom?
Oh my God.
Could you imagine like, yo, I would love to see like how my dad was spitting game to my mom like in 1987.
They talk such a big game too, like it doesn't matter. Their answer is bullshit. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I was macking. I was saying, oh, you looking fine today, girl. Like all that shit didn't happen.
My dad told me, true story, bro. My dad told me that he went up to my mom and he was with another girl. And he told my mom, one day I'm going to marry you. First words he ever told her, one day I'm going to marry you, but tonight I'm with them. And he walked away. And then my mom was like, who the fuck is that? I want him.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, damn, Mom, that's what you got caught with? I was like, Now I gotta judge Mom Dukes. I love you, but like, come on. Yo.
She fell for the trap.
Fell for the trap. City boys.
She fell for the trap. That means it's in your genes. That means you'll fall for the trap.
If she's Colombian, yeah. Right, Isaiah? Yeah, I get it. She's Colombian. I'm falling.
By the way, that's a major pause. You'll fall for the trap.
Not really.
Oh, you haven't. That's like a terminology for like a.
Is this like
a
new lingo?
transsexual person?
Oh,
Fall for the trap.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah. So be careful.
I'll be careful.
Definitely don't fall for that trap.
But she's Colombian.
I mean,
different combo.
Yeah. That's funny.
Let us know what
this was a good
let us know what your best pickup lines are, or if you have pickup lines. But honestly, bro, real talk, I know we're messing around and having fun. I think the thing that's always worked for me is like, as simple as it sounds, just starting a conversation. Mm-hmm. That's why I like that thing I say about like, yo, isn't it, you know, your parents told you it's rude to stare. It always
start something.
Yeah, and I feel like if I can have a conversation with someone, I can do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, it's, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. All right. Another question from a fan. And this one's interesting. This is more like current events. Mm-hmm. They want to know, George, thoughts on Cam Newton's comments about him opens up about his financial struggles after losing NFL salary. Mm. For those that don't know, Cam Newton, amazing quarterback, one of my favorite quarterbacks in like recent memory. Like, dude was
unstoppable,
the real deal. Yeah, legit. When you want to talk about carrying a team,
yeah,
you go back and look at that 15-1 Panther team.
Oh my
that
God,
went to the Super Bowl. Legit Superman. Like, put the team on the back though. Yeah, that team had no business being in the Super Bowl, and they went. He opened up and said, being in the NFL, everyone knows there's a large sum of money that comes to you in a short span of time, and being away from the game for 3 years, those checks don't come in the same. Like, I got 8 kids now. And then he goes on to say how, like, you know, his kids thought, growing up, his kids looked at him as Superman, and now he can't provide for them the same way that he once did. How do you feel about this conversation? Because I have my thoughts.
This is what happens with a lot of athletes that don't quickly parlay their insane networking skills immediately after playing. Yeah, sure, you're not getting paid NFL quarterback money. Here's the thing. Very few people are in this world. And if you want to be paid that exorbitant amount of money yearly, you got to be the CEO of some company, or you got to be an expert salesperson to be driving in $30+ million a year. And like I said, that's a very few people. You're great at ball, and then ball's over, and this is what happens. So, Nick, the thing that I just find just like tough that he's been very transparent with is like his fashion. I don't think you should be a person that comes out and says, I don't wear the same thing twice, come out in the most extravagant podcast gear, and then have a statement like he made. But I also don't think his statement was one that is like, give me money, you know? I think it was more so like, fuck, this sucks. Yeah. Hashtag rich people problems.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. I think you could definitely tip your cap to him for even addressing it and opening up, because like, how many people, I mean, bro, the entrepreneur, bro, right? Perfect example.
Yeah.
They show off what they have, and when you get to know some of them or you get to meet some of them, it's all fabricated. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are broke. Mm-hmm. I've had an entrepreneur, bro, ask me for money. I'm like, what happened to the fucking Rolex watches and diamond chains? So
yeah,
I applaud him for that, for being like, yo, man, like, it sucks. And you're right. He's not saying, you know, I'm starting a GoFundMe. Yeah, because he's still on TV. His podcast is booming. I think, bro, I'm not a fan of all athletes going into media. he's become one of my favorites. Like the 4th and 1 show that he does is awesome. We talked about that video one time when he shouted out Justin Jefferson about like the houses. Remember where he was like, Justin Jefferson got asked, yo, you still live in the same house you did as a rookie? He's like, yeah, I'm chilling, man. He's the most expensive wide receiver in the league. And he's telling the story like, oh, I'm cool, man. I kind of stay within my means, and not stay within his means because he has the means now, but like, yo, I'm by myself. I don't need anything crazy. And then Cam Newton put out a video that went stupid viral, and I loved it. He was like, off-season house, $10 million. House in Minnesota, $2 million.
Correct.
Because where are you going to stay 8 months out of the year? Invest there.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, shit, bro, the gym I train at, a lot of NFL athletes in the off season because they're in Vegas in the off season. So I'm sure they invest in bigger houses here than they do back home. So I think Cam Newton is an awesome TV personality. I think his podcast is dope. I think he's awesome on First Take. He's awesome with his perspective as an elite NFL player. He even opened up about the fumble. He's like, yo, knowing what I know now, I would have blew out both my ACLs to dive on that football in the Super Bowl. Because now every time I post, every comment is like, you didn't jump on the fumble. You didn't jump on the fumble. He's like, I didn't know, like instinct at the moment. So I say all that to say, not just to Cam Newton, but to anyone that makes $133 million in his career. This is not endorsements. This is just off contracts.
Yeah.
I don't feel sympathy for people that would make less than this and complain.
Very true.
So I can't hear you make $100 million and tell me that we got to feel bad for your financial struggle. I just can't do it, bro. This has been my stance my whole life because I used to not have money. And I'm not saying I have millions of dollars, but I'm doing well for myself. And it's the happiest I've ever been. It's the least stressful I've ever been. I'm a believer that money does indeed buy you happiness because it buys you freedom to do shit. When an unexpected bill pops up, you could take care of it, and it's not a fucking nightmare to your pockets. Like, bro, I was telling Jerry today, we went to grab lunch, and I was like, yo, bro, the happiest I've been in my life was when I moved to Vegas because I feel like at 31 years old, I became a man. Had my own responsibilities. Like, bro, my mom was still doing my laundry at 30. My dad would pick me up, go to work, and when he would drop me off on Fridays, I'd give him my laundry bag. My mom would wash it over the weekend, bring it back Monday morning when I would go to work with him. So when I came out here, I got like grown-ass responsibilities. I got responsibilities at work at the studio. I got responsibilities with the show. I got responsibilities on my own and shit, more bills. So once I started making money was when I got like the happiest. And I was telling Jerry how like, bro, in the past, if George and I went out for his birthday, real talk, bro, swear to God, I would open up my Chase account because I bought you and the missus and whoever we were with around the beers or 2 beers because it's your birthday. I'd be like, fuck, man. It's, what is it? January 25th weekend. Well, I can't go out until after the Super Bowl now.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking struggling to get
struggling
to get by. And it was embarrassing and it sucked. And I remember, I don't know if I've told you this story, but like one of the girls that I like, we were dating for a little, like all my friends are like, bro, y'all dated, you're just an idiot and you didn't put a title on, but like that was your girlfriend. Because I'll tell people like, yo, I haven't had a girlfriend since high school. They're like, no, so-and-so was your girlfriend, you're just a fucking moron. But she was like super successful, was a lawyer, 25 years old. I was 26. And like, bro, I'm making $400 a week.
Yeah.
And we're going out. I'm paying for everything because I'm a man, class. But I just couldn't. It got to a point where I was like, yo, I can't be with you. I just can't afford to.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, she's like, yo, you're not, it's not always about that, yada, yada. But at the time, that's when I was depressed. That's when I was down bad, when I wasn't making money. Now I'm making good money now. And I'm chilling. I haven't made $133 million. But I hear people, people come into the studio and they rent it and they're entrepreneurs and they'll tell you about like, I'm not happy with things. And you look, they're making $50 million a year. I can't. It drives me crazy, dude. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And I know perspective is everything and where you came from and your upbringing has a lot to do with it. Like maybe you were born with money and to you, you're just naive at the fact that you're around money. So maybe you don't have any experience, but like, as someone that used to have to wake up at 2:30 in the morning 5 days a week to make $450 because I was working with my dad. Yeah, bro, I can't have sympathy for you.
Yeah.
It was the same thing during the pandemic where Paul George was like, I'm depressed. Come on, man. Like, people are out of touch with reality. And it just, to me, I can't have sympathy with you. I've had conversations with friends, and they're like, dude, you're being shallow about it. I was like, I'm being shallow. This guy in 3 dribbles makes people salaries, and he's going to tell us that we're depressed? I can't do it, bro. I just can't. So, like, to me, he's still making money because he's on TV and
for sure.
God, and I get it. Like, yeah, you're not making $20 million a year, but you're not making $20,000 a year. And that's to me where I'm like, you lost me, bro.
I think he was trying to give people a heads up and say, hey, stop asking me for fucking money.
Ooh,
because
I like this.
You have the power of the media. You already know that everybody's going to run with this, take 1,000 different directions. There's no better way of saying, stop asking me for money than to tell people, hey, I have 8 kids. I don't get paid a fucking quarterback salary anymore. And I'm sure Cam Newton is a guy that probably likes to give away a lot of money. He just has that bit of aura around him. I mean, look what he did for the fucking Panthers that season. And by the way, Cam, if you're looking to make a shit ton of money, you got to bring back the Cam Newton high top cleats that everybody on my defense had senior year of high school. We had the white ones and the gold ones. They were top notch in the cleat world. You don't see them like that anymore. They were the Kobe 9s of football cleats. And so, yeah, Cam, think about avoiding Under Armour, but getting the same technology, patent that, fucking make those, and you'll have a shit ton of money to take care of all your kids.
Bro, I love
God, you have 8 kids, bro. What the fuck? That's a lot.
Bro, I love this take about him saying he don't have money so people could stop asking him for money.
Yeah.
That's a good one, because I haven't heard that one. That's a really good one. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. You have everybody's attention.
Yeah.
Just make a rant about how you don't have money and everybody's
bro, you know what I do now?
out.
You know what I do now? When people ask me, I'm like, I don't got no money. They're like, why don't you have money? I'm like, these sports books, man. These hoes, man. Like, I'll be saying shit like that.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, dude, you shouldn't gamble your money. And I'm like, I know, bro. And then I'll flip it on. Then I'll be like, yo, do you think you could help me out? and then they'll be like, no, I can't
clearly
help
can't. I can't.
Like, oh, but you want me to help you?
Oh,
Okay, noted.
interesting.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Very interesting. You know, I wonder when the last time Cam Newton was given money. You know, Cam, I'm going to, donate to whatever GoFundMe you have. I know at the beginning I said you don't have one, and that's why I somewhat respected this statement. But now start one, because he deserves more. I want to see him wear an astronaut suit on his next podcast. You got that? You got that, Cam? Let's see it. Yeah. It's not a good look if it's like he was looking for sympathy.
I think your take is genius, bro. I really do. I like it more and more. That he probably said that to have people stop asking me. Because now they'll be like, oh, Cam is complaining about money, so let me not ask him. And maybe he's chilling. Because he's not.
Can you imagine if he just wanted that clip, though, just to send to people that are asking him for money still?
So now he has the.
So he just has it. He has it on his camera roll, favorited.
Yeah.
Hey, he doesn't even send them the fucking Instagram. He sends it direct.
The actual one that his producer and editor put together.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, for me, I just my stance has been consistent my whole life. I just can't. I can't get behind the conversation of people that make that kind of money telling you about how difficult things are for them.
I have one thing that I want to throw into the mix here, because he's also said this and it ties in similarly. All these players now that are, they're old retired NFL vets or whatever, and they talk about the amount of NIL money they would have made. It's like, you would not have made more than Shadur Sanders this year. Shedeur was literally in State Farm commercials, pistachio commercials, you name it, this kid was doing. And I think he led the NIL bracket. I think he made like $5 million. Cam Newton, like, bro, you played at a JUCO and then you revived Auburn after fucking up at Florida. Like, I don't think your NIL would have been crazy.
I don't know. I need to push back. I think there's like one guy a year that you could look back and say, yeah, they would have fucking made 10 plus million. Johnny Manziel.
I think we say,
Tebow.
Nick, I know. I think we just say this because we won't actually know, but I kind of have a feeling that they would not have made that money. Think about this. We live in a time where they could have made stupid money. If Shedeur is making what he's making and he had things handed to him, all these commercial deals, like Johnny Manziel didn't have that. He was a freshman at Texas A&M. It was an anomaly.
You don't think that would have changed though?
In the following years, yes, I do think he would have accumulated more money.
Not
but
even the
$5 million a year. Like,
I think
Shedeur made more than a lot of NFL quarterbacks.
I think the moment it's happening, like when Johnny Manziel beats Alabama, I think they're fucking Tebow in Florida, Vince Young at Texas. Fucking Isaiah texts me. He's like, bro, Reggie Bush, like Matt Leinart. That's what I'm saying. There's like guys in certain years.
Yeah.
Again, anomalies, right? It's the same shit I say how like I feel like some athletes are underpaid. I'm talking about like 3 per sport, if that. So these guys are rare exceptions where you're looking at it like, bro,
correct.
Look at this guy, what he meant to the program.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Texas A&M was always a Power 5 conference school, but like, Manziel put them on the map.
Agreed.
Again, I'm not the biggest college football fan, but like, I'm for a casual, I was like, oh shit, Texas A&M, that's where fucking Johnny Football's at.
I mean, we're talking millions of dollars here. Like, I do think they would have made $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, but I don't know. I just don't think it would be as much as people would think. Like when people say like, I would have made $10 million, maybe over the course of your college career, but not in a single year. I don't know. I wanted to throw that in there because he's made his 2 cents on it. Cam Newton.
So this is a CBS Sports report, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying based on his success and tenure, Tim Tebow and his Florida career would have cleared $40 million in NIL deals. And I think that's low. And I think that's wrong. Dude won 2 national titles he won? Was it 2? Because one he was like a member of it, I think. Let me look that up.
Okay, but this is the thing that has everybody convoluted here. Like,
that's a good word, by the way.
That's a educated word.
Yeah.
Shout out to UNLV. It's being shown to us right now that even when these kids can get paid, they're still not making what they should be making based on the TV deals and the revenues that these schools have. So I'm saying is if it was this year's NIL where they're having those type of restrictions put on these athletes, then yes, it's going to be way less than $40 million. No fucking school can afford that. That is literally, Ohio State spent $20 million this year on a 100-man roster.
Yeah. Bro, the schools could definitely afford it. But I also think the NIL deal is not just the school. I think it's
correct. It's the endorsements
and the endorsements.
Yes.
And
but now it is the school.
Right. Now
it's open, out in the open. So
yeah, interesting.
Show me somebody in Florida that's shelling away $40 million over the course of 4 years. Maybe one person is getting near that.
Well, that's what we're also.
It's crazy fucking money.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, George. I'm saying that we're not talking about like just a random dude. Like we're talking about fucking generational talents that altered the school's trajectory and became an icon.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about, first of all, everyone we mentioned won a Heisman.
Yes.
So we're not talking about just like the fucking Riley Leonards of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about fucking, these are guys that changed programs, bro. That's what I mean. And I think that you're kind of underselling it.
Okay. I'm willing to stand firmly where I'm at. I think it's just a basic understanding of economics that if we're just basing it off the best athletes that we've seen this year, do you think Jeremiah Smith's a generational talent?
Yeah.
Okay. Look how much he made.
Sure.
Look how much he's expected to make over the next 3 years. And we think that he's going to be the next premier superstar NFL receiver. And that number still won't come close to 40 million. That's the quarterback number. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
I want it to change. I want these guys to get paid as much as humanly possible. I just don't think they can make it up in endorsements the way that we saw Shedeur do this year. Like,
yeah,
I think
Shedeur definitely crushed it. He had fucking watch deals.
Yeah, bro.
State Farm. Just all this shit. Last thing, do you think it helped that his dad was who he was?
Of course. That's why I'm saying, bro, Vince Young's dad wasn't the fucking coach of the team.
Yeah.
Or
like a all-time great.
Yeah. I mean, Urban Meyer was kind of like Tim Tebow's dad. A little more, perverted, but that's neither here nor there. That was the Jacksonville days. Wouldn't have happened if Tim was still on the team as tight end. I want that on the record. That would not have happened.
Bro, you ever heard, last thing we'll say on this topic, just because I brought him up, you ever heard the Deion Sanders story during his draft at the Combine? It's the all-time fucking, I'm way too good to waste my time story, fucking gangster story of all time.
The pulling up in the limousine?
Nah. I mean, that a lot of this shit, like a lot of people say Coach Deion Sanders invented swag, but like at the time, George Young was the GM for the Giants, and they're at the Combine, and he loved, like, the thing that got him off was Wonderlic tests. We gotta test our draft pick. We need smart players. And story is the Giants had the 8th pick in the draft, I believe it was, and Deion Sanders gets pulled into a room, and they're like, "Yo, take this exam." And he looks up and he goes, "Yo, what pick do y'all have?" And they said 8th, and he's like, "I'm gonna be gone by then." And he just walked out the room. Ended up going 5th overall.
Yeah,
it's like that's so fucking.
That's
dope,
gangster,
bro.
dude.
Man. That's some shit I would do. I'd be like, I ain't wasting my time with you fucking bums, and then just bounce.
Yeah, that's
so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, that's that. I stand by what I said, bro. Shedeur made $6.2 million this year. Travis made $5.4 million. And I don't think the people that you listed before would have made that amount.
Okay. Listen, a nice debate is good.
Yes, that was healthy.
Nice civil debate. We don't have many of those anymore.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good to have. Let us know what you guys think about this conversation. All right, let's get into it, man. George, has it upset you that we only have 3 more football games to break down this year?
I started to tear up in the shower a little bit today. Can't lie. It's also chasing season for me, man. This is the 3-game stretch that if you have been a fucking loser all year, you can crush it these last 3 games and feel like it was still a good year. So, like, I know that that's what's ahead of me this week. I'm fired up, but I am sad that, Nick, we don't get to do this show, like, with all these fucking storylines.
Yeah, and all these themed picks, bro.
Oh, I know.
We're going to have to put Ursulita down for a couple months, bro.
We're just going to have to just do the same thing, but with, like, stories in the world. Like,
yeah. Which story sucks, but is good. yeah. Let's get into it, man. So which game do you want to start with? Do you want to go AFC or NFC? Or do you want to just go in, chronological order? NFC game is first.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we should go in chronological.
All right. let me read off some trends for you. I know
Okay.
you're a big trends guy.
Let's hear these. Let's hear them.
If you're holding a Commanders ticket from the preseason, you must be excited because they were as high as 150 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.
Jesus.
They are the 9th team in NFL history to make the divisional round of the playoffs. They are the 4th team to make the conference championship in history with 150 to 1 preseason odds. One of them happened recently. Do you remember which one happened recently?
Oh, shit.
I'll give you a hint. They were Ursulita or Adriana every week, pretty much.
The Panthers?
The Bengals.
Bengals.
Bengals in 2021.
You're
They
right.
lost the Super Bowl. The 1979 Bucks lost the conference championship game. And then you do have some history on your side. The LA Rams, greatest show on turf in 1999, won the Super Bowl with odds of 250 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.
Jesus.
He was technically a rookie, Kurt Warner. Though he was on the team in 98, he didn't play until 99. So that's a wild trend over there, man.
Yeah. It's a team of destiny. They do all the things that I would consider a Super Bowl championship team does these things. They put up points in bunches. They have a quarterback that is truly playing on another level as far as confidence and fucking charisma. I question the defense at points, but they have the man in the middle that's experienced deep runs like this, and that's Bobby Wagner. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to feel stupid. You know how we do our stupid test? Like, when I'm putting in this bet, do I want to look at it and be like, Jaden Daniels has a shot to ruin this? And I didn't just back what I'm being presented. He is him. So yeah, I'm still torn and conflicted. I like the Eagles -4, but the lines jumped to 6 in some places. It could be at 6 permanently from here moving forward. I don't like that. I like the Commanders if we're getting over 4 points. How are you feeling about this matchup?
I mean, look, we said it on Monday, the Monday show. They opened up at 4.5. It's at 6 now.
Yep.
Again, it's very important. If you fell victim to last week, if you listened to the show and we said Eagles -6, you didn't lose on that on the Monday show, or even on the Wednesday show, we doubled down on it. And then the Chiefs are -8.5. So if you like a favorite, shout out to you for posting that video because that's doing well. And a lot of people are like, oh shit, I never thought of it that way. We talk about it all the time, mostly with the Super Bowl props, right? Like
Yep.
Super Bowl's coming up. You'll hear me say this again, but it's very important. If you like overs on players like Saquon Barkley, if the Eagles get to the Super Bowl, if you think he's going to go over his rushing yardage, you got to bet that Monday, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, if you like the over. If you like the under, wait until kickoff.
Right.
Because there's been some wild line changes, man. Like the one Chiefs and 49ers Super Bowl that was the first one in 2019. Kelsey's yardage went up like 9.5 yards. And if you bet him early, it went over. If you bet him late,
You got screwed.
you got screwed. So it's very important, man. And it's the same thing here, right? Like, I think the thing that is making me the most hesitant, I thought Jalen Hurts destroyed his knee. We talked about that too.
Yep.
So he'll play. Is he going to be fully healthy to go? I don't know. So that's why I also think that you haven't seen any big bets coming in on the Eagles because of that. Because I feel as if this game could get out of hand for Washington, because you know what? That game was out of hand for Washington last time these two teams played until Jalen Hurts got hurt. And then that's when the game swung. So to me, I think the biggest question mark coming into this game is whether or not Jalen Hurts is 100%. I don't think he's 100%. I don't think anyone's 100% right now, except for the running back. But I think right now that's the thing that's keeping me the most hesitant in this game.
Yeah, and it's been his other than the potential injury that he's coming in with that he finished off last game. I have not seen a comfortable Jalen Hurts in a lot of the throwing situations from these past couple of weeks. He's missing players out of bounds. He's underthrowing players. He doesn't seem to like drive off the ball in the pocket like a confident Jalen Hurts has in the past. And I also think that when you see Saquon Barkley doing what he's doing, you kind of find comfort in like, well, like at least this shit's like manageable and he can help us out in this situation. It'll be very interesting to me to see, all right, what is the main game plan is get Saquon Barkley 27 touches plus. How do you do that with Jalen Hurts that gets him settled in? Like, do you see Saquon running on some swing routes? Do you try to find creative ways to get the ball to your best player that allows Jalen Hurts to be like, okay, let me get in a rhythm here? Because you can get bogged down from just all the handoffs. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on for sure. When are they throwing it? Is it first down, second down, and how are they throwing it? Because they haven't been taking like big shots.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because have you seen this take about how people don't want to see Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in the Super Bowl because they don't want to see a quarterback throw for 134 yards? Have you seen that been going around?
I haven't seen it going around, but I definitely have a sentiment of sitting on the ball like the Eagles did their past Super Bowl, where they were very, very conservative. So I agree. I'm kind of like in the...
Okay, so I disagree.
Okay.
Because the last time we saw Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl, he had 300 yards passing.
Yes.
And he was literally the MVP of the game. Scored 3 times, threw a touchdown. He had the one costly fumble, which was a fumble 6, if I remember correctly. Yes, it was. It was a fumble 6. Shout out to Isaiah, a residential Eagles fan. He's stressed out for this weekend, but I think that's a lazy take because, like, yo, what do you want from your quarterback? Let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for all of you listening, Dom, you're gonna clip this. Shouts to Dom. What do you want from your quarterback? Do you want to win, survive in advance, or not even survive really? Because they're like Josh Allen threw under 200 yards, Pat Mahomes threw under 200 yards, Jalen Hurts threw for like 17 yards. At least that's what social media and people commentating on the games is telling us. What do you want? Do you want 400 yards and y'all lose? Or do you want to just win and move on? Because it's the same take I have with fighters. Fighters get shitted on because, they fight boring. They fight to win. I'm like, bro, I have a $500,000 purse if I win.
Facts.
Yeah, if I feel like I'm up 3-0, jab and staying on the outside, bro.
Yep.
I'm not going to engage in fire. Like, do what you have to do, and if people don't like it, fuck them. I think it's that simple. Because, Jalen Hurts in his career in the playoffs, especially at home,
he's been
4-0 straight up, 3-1 against the spread. What I'm just genuinely asking, what do you want? Because we've seen Peyton Manning in the past have 300 yards, 4 touchdowns in a playoff game, and they lost. And then there was one game where Adam Vinatieri hit 5 field goals, and they beat Baltimore, and he had multiple turnovers in that game. So ties into what I've always been saying. Wins and losses are not a QB stat. So my question to everyone, what do you want from your quarterback? I want to win, bro. Even if it's ugly, even if it sucks, find a way to win.
I agree with you. I don't think that that's the winning brand of football for this Eagles team if they do want to win the Super Bowl. Like the way, well, and I don't even want to overstep my bounds, bro. Like if I'm literally saying that they're making it to the next round, they have to be lights out perfect because that Commanders team is going to put up points. There's no doubt about it. They're humming. It's going to happen. If Jalen Hurts does not get the ball moving downfield and get A.J. Brown going, get Devontae Smith going, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. It's the same. Like they were running the last Super Bowl that they were in. I vividly remember numerous 3rd and 2s where they're running a fucking tush push. It's like, you can get it. Why don't you push the ball down the field? That's where I have the issue with it. That's the only way, though, that Jalen Hurts ends up with 150, passing yards. I know he went off in that Super Bowl, but that's how that scenario would play out. He's the only question mark for this game. Are we worried about like the fact that the Commanders' offense also has to go up against this Eagles defense? They were successful last time, but is there anything that you're looking for in that matchup that you're like, all right, this is going to be the difference maker?
I'm so happy you brought this up because I feel as if Sam Cosmi, the guard for the Commanders, probably their 3rd best player on offense. Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels. And yeah, I said Terry McLaurin first. Yeah, because Terry McLaurin is the best player on that team. I'll stand by it. He's been. This is what's cool about the Jaden Daniels thing, because I love Terry McLaurin. I feel like he's been a dog wide receiver his whole career, and he finally got a quarterback, and a lot of people are like, oh, my God, look at Terry McLaurin. Where's this been? It's like, bro, he's been doing this, but the team wins 4 games a year, and he's been putting up 1,000-yard seasons, and he's the leader of the clubhouse. He's the leader on the field, off the field. His speeches are going viral before games and all that. The team is waiting for him to walk into the locker room to celebrate. It's like, bro, this is what happens, man. There's so many people that just aren't in a good situation that you think are trash, and then they finally get in a good situation. You're like, holy shit. Same thing happened to Matthew Stafford. Like, whoa, Matthew Stafford, look at this, won a Super Bowl. It's like, bro, he's been that guy. All right, Aaron Rodgers on the McAfee show is like, yo, Matty's been doing it since Georgia. The whole fucking no-look passes and shit that everyone fucking gets a boner of Mahomes when he's doing that. It's like he's been doing it, but you don't see it when the team sucks, and now they're seeing it, right? So I think Cosmi being out, I think that's a big deal because Jalen Carter is probably the best defensive tackle in the league, and he's a menace. He dominated that last drive against the Rams.
Yep.
So I'm looking inside the trenches, bro, because Philly, the thing that makes Philly so good is what makes any team good. Their offensive and defensive line. They could protect their quarterback and they could go after yours.
Yep.
That's it. That's really all you need in the NFL. Find a quarterback, protect them, go after theirs. And that's what Philly could do. And this loss here is massive. And, what's also unfortunate for him is he's probably going to miss next year, too. You get hurt at this time of the year, you're probably not back till Thanksgiving, fully cleared, ready to go. Unless you're a freak of nature like Adrian Peterson, who got hurt like January 4th and then came back and ran for 2,000 yards. Yeah. So that's the thing that sucks. But I'm glad that you brought that up, man, because for me, I think that's a big, big loss for them. And especially for this matchup, it's awful. I mean, anytime you get hurt, it's awful timing. But this one in particular is like, oof.
Yeah.
A rough blow here.
I think the Quinyon Mitchell situation, too, at corner, how he left the Rams game with a shoulder injury. I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's definitely, I feel like the weapons that the Commanders have, Ertz, McLaurin, Eckler out of the backfield, is more superior than what the defense's the Eagles secondary presents.
I don't know.
Do you think the Eagles have the matchup in the secondary?
They got Slay, who he played really well last week. They got our boy Cooper DeJean. They got Blankenship. Mitchell being out is going to hurt, but, Gardner Johnson, I think they can match up with them well. And you got to also remember that the defensive line helps those guys so much.
For sure.
Bro, I saw my team win Super Bowls with Aaron Ross and Corey Websters of the world and R.W. McQuarters.
Yeah.
Right? Glory days of the New York Giants. But when you could get pressure with 4 guys, you don't need your corners to be fucking Patrick Surtain.
I agree.
So I think that's where Philly and look, I think these corners are good also. I'm saying the fact that they have the pass rush, that just makes it
all the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am still conflicted as to if I would take 6 points in this game though.
Well, you also, the thing that's really interesting about this game, you have reverse line movement, right? So 67% of the bets are coming in on the Commanders, and the line went from 4.5 to 6, right? Usually it would work the other way. They would try to bet it down. So that's telling you that big money is coming in on the Eagles side. So to me, that's very telling. That's why, like, you always got to add context to certain numbers. Now, if the line opened up 4.5 and we're getting 67% of the bets coming in on the Commanders, and then it went to 3, you'd be like, okay, this makes sense. But the fact that it's going in the opposite direction, that's always a telltale sign of professional money and big money coming in. And I think it's the hype train, right? And like they beat the number 1 seed, dominated them start to finish. And if you did bet them on the money line, you're feeling good about it. So you're just going to roll it over. And that's what happens. And it's in Division 2. They beat them once. But I think this is a completely different circumstance too. Philly is... What's crazy is both of these teams hosting the conference championship game, I think home field matters.
Agree.
Like for these two teams. Yeah. Like if this game was in Washington, I don't know if it would matter as much. Maybe moving forward, now that Washington is going to be successful and they got this new regime there, new ownership and just new infrastructure. Sure. But like Philly's a fucking piece of shit city. Like the fans are very hostile.
Yeah.
Right? So, and the mayor can't spell. So it's crazy over there.
Yeah, bro, it's whack.
Yeah.
ELGLES, Eagles.
I'm never spelling it the right way again.
Oh, bro.
I'm spelling it like that forever.
I'm going to be honest. They should probably say it wrong moving forward. If they do win the Super Bowl, like this is the new way to spell Eagles.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I think it's ELGLES, Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
The A, bro.
Yeah, you got it. Like,
especially if they beat the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl. Fuck the A for real.
Yo, let me give you this one, right? Because this applies to this game. It's rare for big championship favorites to lose. Losing as a 6-point favorite doesn't happen often in the conference championship games. Favorites on the close of that big of a number are 13-3 straight up. The 3 losses are the Chiefs as a 7-point favorite against the Bengals, Brady as 8-point favorites against Baltimore, and then Aaron Rodgers and the Packers as 7.5-point favorites against the New York Giants. Which is not fair for Rodgers, as I'm reading this from Action Network. It was actually Brett Favre was the quarterback.
Damn, they're slandering him.
Fun fact, the last pass Brett Favre ever threw as a Green Bay Packer was intercepted by the New York Giants. God, I miss the glory days. God, we're so fucking down bad, man. We are so down bad. Check this out. Last thing I'll say. As a home favorite, Hurts is 25-3 straight up in his career. If you bet $100 taking his money line in each game, you'd be up $609, the 4th best of any QB in the last 2 decades.
Jesus.
So, and also, by the way, Barkley has smoked everyone on the ground, but he had monster games against Washington, both meetings. I remember that second game, he had like 100 yards in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then Kenny Pickett came in and Washington was like, we're not going to even guard A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. We're putting all 11 guys at the line of scrimmage. I'm being sarcastic, but they shut him down after. But, you know, he's had his way. And I think it's been a great story. I think if you're Washington moving forward, you're going to be fine. You're going to be in a good spot. Even next year, you're going to be playing a second place schedule. And they're going to be this year's version of the Houston Texans and the Green Bay Packers, getting a lot of love. And I think even more so.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I haven't looked at what their Super Bowl odds will be for next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like a top 3 favorite in the NFC.
Just yeah. You're gonna put Bills.
No, NFC.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying like,
but not overall in the NFL.
No,
Do you
no,
think
not
they make
overall.
the top 6? We know how important the top 6 is.
I think they'll be top 8 because the AFC got some like loaded teams. Like I think you'll see Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City. You'll see Baltimore all ahead of them. I think you'll see
the Rams.
I don't know about the Rams. A lot of uncertainty with Matthew Stafford. I think you'll see Philly. I think you'll see Detroit. Philly, Detroit, I think you'll see. And then I think you'll see Washington.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're not paying their quarterback. So do you have any picks in this game?
I do have a couple of picks. My first one that I want to hit you with is my Ursulita. Devontae Smith plus 190 anytime touchdown. He hasn't scored any touchdowns this year in the playoffs. We mentioned how fucked up the Eagles' passing offense has looked for the past month and a half. He's not the number 1 target. He's not the number 2 target. He is the 4th target after Saquon Barkley on that list. I completely forgot. Yet his anytime touchdowns at plus 190. Very telling. Dallas Goedert's ahead of him too. That's even crazier. So it's ugly, but he's their deep ball threat, and it wouldn't shock me if he made a big time play. I think he'll get the more favorable cornerback matchup. They're saying Sandster will probably be lined up against him. So that's my Ursulita. Devontae Smith anytime touchdown. Do you have any plays?
So I was looking at the pass catchers in this one.
Ooh, okay.
I wouldn't say it's Ursulita, but I love nothing more than when a guy is struggling and getting trolled.
Oh, yep.
To bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an A.J. Brown game.
I was thinking it too.
I think A.J. Brown
went uglier.
So I went a little crazy.
2?
No.
Oh.
Plus 365 to have 100 yards.
Wow.
Listen, you could attack him through the air.
That's something Matty Bet would throw thousands of dollars on.
Yeah. Yeah. Shouts to Matty Betts, man. He said he's looking forward to us kicking it with him. Him coming to kick it with us for the Super Bowl weekend. He'll be out here in Vegas. But, dude, A.J. Brown, 100+ yards alt. I'm going to go ahead and say in this economy, right? It's down bad. He's being trolled for having more pages read than targets in the playoffs, right? And I think you could attack the Eagles. You could attack the Commanders through the air. I like it, bro. You're buying low. Dude, his yardage prop, by the way, 59.5. Let's not get crazy. And I think they're going to run less with Hurts because of the knee. And it's the Barkley onslaught, and I think A.J. Brown hits for 100. In this economy, A.J. Brown, 100+ yards.
I have one more for in this economy too, and it fits. Jaden Daniels plus 200 anytime touchdown. He hasn't had a rushing touchdown since December 1st. Something tells me with the Cosme being out and the way that they're going to block it up schematically, I do think Fangio will get creative with the different types of pressures that he's showing. He's probably not going to do all the dumb shit that Aaron Glenn did, but I definitely think they'll be able to give Jaden Daniels some opportunities to like attack through the middle. And yeah, I think that's what rookies do best, bro. I think it's his golden ticket. So I will be parlaying those two, Devontae Smith and Jaden Daniels. But yeah, that's in this economy.
Can I give you a Ursulita that's a parlay?
Yeah.
This one it's sick.
Ooh.
Sick, however you want to interpret sick, but 37-1 odds. What's better than one revenge game? A double revenge game, baby. Zach Ertz and Dotson anytime touchdowns, 37-1. Listen, Dotson scored the first touchdown against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, 37-1. We've spent money on worse. For me, that's Ursulita.
I love it because that's like a legitimate. I can see the path because the Commanders put up numbies. I like that one. Wow. That's it. I don't think it's as ugly as you think.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
And listen, bro, I told you, look, I have a couple of futures pending. I have Bills Eagles to be the Super Bowl at 16-1. We gave it out on Patreon. I have the Eagles to beat the Bills in the Super Bowl at 30-1. So full transparency, and I told George this, and I'm confirming it now. I'm not betting on the games individually. Got like about $100 to $200 on like some anytime stuff and like fun shit like this. Like I'm gonna bet all these picks, especially for content. But as far as sides, that's where my rooting interest is. But yeah, for me, I'm just going with the double revenge game, bro. The rest of my picks are in the other game.
I think that's where we got to head to right now.
Man,
the main event.
This is
the rubber match.
Is it though?
It's between Mahomes and Allen.
Not in the playoffs though.
Not in the playoffs, but overall, 4-4.
Yeah. Bro, this is awfully reminiscent of 2006 Colts and Pats. Just finally he gets over the hump. I mean, look, everyone's rooting for it. Trusting my eyes, I think the Bills are the better team. But you have so much history in favor of Mahomes and the Chiefs, especially in the playoffs. 3-0, straight up 3-0 against the spread. The over is 3-0 in these matchups. He's covering the spread by 6.5 points during the regular season against Josh Allen. He's 1-4. He's lost 4 in a row in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he beats him when it matters. And like, yo, the more you look at it, dude, the only times that Mahomes has been beat in the playoffs, because I believe his record is 18-3 in the playoffs.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The one year he lost, D Ford lines up offsides.
Yep.
The other year he lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl was because he had 4 new starters. He had 4 players starting in new positions on the offensive line in the Super Bowl. And then the other year he lost to Joe Burrow. He just got outgunned by Joe Burrow. That's it. So you need to have extreme circumstances or a fucking alpha to beat him. The Bills have one. The Bills and Josh Allen right now this year has been a better player than Pat Mahomes.
Yes.
And I would even say in the first game in the divisional rounds for both of them, he outplayed Pat Mahomes. But what does Pat Mahomes do this time of year? Just wins, baby.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he does. And especially at home, it is a tough thing to do to beat them. And I felt like they get a layup game in the divisional round so far every year because they've played like the Jaguars, they've played the Texans, they've played the Browns. First game off a bye. Mm-hmm. You're playing Miami. They weren't on a bye, but like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're chilling.
They've
had a rather you play who's in front of you, but they've had a very easy go of it. Nick, is it fair to say that if you take a side in this game, it's no different than legitimately flipping a coin? They are in both categories. So like what Pat Mahomes has done against the Bills, but I'll just highlight what Josh Allen's done against premier defensive talent. And when Josh Allen's faced a top defense, one allowing fewer than 20 points per game, 34 times in his career, he's 27-7 straight up, 26-7-1 against the spread. He's the most profitable quarterback in that spot ahead of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. When the spread is 4 points or less in those 34 games with Allen facing a good defense, Buffalo is 16-2 straight up and against the spread in those games. So like, I can't even sit here and be like, oh, well, this Chiefs defense is going to be the difference maker. It's just, are you going to be lucky enough to have the ball at the end? And this is my PSA to all you motherfuckers that are coming after me in the comments saying, no, it was the right move to kick the field goal there and go up by 8. Do that shit this weekend. The luck's not in your favor, I promise you. Okay. You are going to do the same thing that I just said to start this rant. You're flipping a coin. And if you lose that toss, you've lost the game. Have fun in Cancun. That's my take on this game. I am so fucking excited for this game, Nick. This is the NFL at its best is this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. And like diving deeper into this breakdown here, right? Kansas City in revenge games. So games in which, since Mahomes got there, games in which they lost to this team prior to playing them again, 24-7 straight up. And like the reason why we're saying a lot of straight up is because like you get them on the money line at like -130.
Mm-hmm.
-2 is the betting line right now. -110. For me, I would just take the money line. Just better for me at least. Even though, you know, we know the insane trend of him as an underdog in this spot. It's unbelievable. And I just think Buffalo, the one thing you could count on is, you know, your quarterback's going to show up.
Yep.
You know, Josh Allen in big games is not going to be the reason why this team loses. That's why, like, Lamar Jackson got a lot of heat last week. Rightfully so, or not. That's your call. I wouldn't really disagree whatever your opinion is on that one. But, like, you know, Josh Allen is going to show up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And he just does every single time that he's in this scenario. And even more so, Josh Allen, when he plays top defenses, 34 times in his career, he's 27-7 straight up in those games.
Mm.
And he's 26-7-1 against the spread in those games. Most profitable quarterback against the spread in that spot, ahead of Brady and Manning. So Chiefs allowing less than 20 points per game. In the history of Josh Allen's career, when he does play a team like that, he shines. He fucking shines. And how do you feel about the refs playing a role in this game? Because that's been a really popular like take and people are running with.
I mean, I would like for the tone to be set early so that way we're not watching a soccer game take place. And what I mean by that is I think if you are on either side, because I think that both quarterbacks would get this call based on their level of prestige. Sorry, CJ Stroud, you don't make the cut. That's why you weren't getting shit last week. You're going to see some fuckery, but I really do hope that it's more so swallowing the whistle. Like, I would be okay with them refereeing like how the NBA playoffs is sometimes refereed and it's a game 7. It's like, well, hey, this is just where big boys play tough now. And we're going to let you guys do what you got to do. I would love for them to fuck around again so we can make another skit this upcoming week, Nick, about how Vegas is actually an earpiece in the referee. Stand by for that if that happens. But I think we're going to know early enough whether or not they've gotten the call that, okay, we're either protecting them full body or we've given them the warning before the game, which is what they would do. And they would say, hey, we're going to be pretty lenient today. Tell everybody to protect themselves. What do you think is going to happen?
So one of my favorite people in sports media is Ryan Russillo.
I love him.
And he does an amazing job. Been a fan of his for many, many years. He put out a interesting take. Not a take, it's factual. And it ties into this conversation that we're having right now. You know, since Pat Mahomes got to Kansas City in 2018, if you had to guess in fourth quarters or overtime in one-score games, how many penalties were thrown for the Chiefs and against the Chiefs in that spot? If you had to guess, like what perception is and what reality is, you're going to be astonished by the answer to this.
Okay. Perception, just based off of all the success that they've had.
And also just like what the internet's reactions are to them getting, you know, a holding call, of course, defensive holding when the Chiefs have the ball. Like, what do you think the numbers are?
Like, I think that the Chiefs are getting flags in their favor 75% of the time in this playoff run of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Am I close?
Opponents have received 48 calls in their favor.
Okay.
The Chiefs have received 47.
We give these guys a lot of shit, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I would fucking hate to be a ref.
And this is why I love this take from Ryan Russillo. He did his homework, and shout out to him. It's one of those scenarios, bro, but where a lot of time like perception isn't reality.
Yeah.
You just assume, oh, dude, the fucking refs, bro. And then you look at it, you're like, it's not really the case. It happens a lot in sports where it's like, oh, bro, LeBron's not clutch. Well, he's hit the most clutch shots with 24 seconds to go in like NBA history. He's taken the most, but he's also has succeeded in them the most.
Right.
But it's just a lot of narratives that are just not true. And this is just a prime example of that.
Wow.
And I'm sorry for setting you up, but I love that you answered the way.
Because that's what you're going to think. That's what I'm saying. That's what happens over the course and the history of time is that's what we've, just come to know, that a lucky football team will get the turnover ratio in their favor and they'll get the flags in their favor. Now, it would be interesting to see in those games, like how many are like delay of games or shit like that, because not every penalty is created the same.
Sure.
So Russillo, if you can even give like what we love it, one more step and like classifying which type of penalties they were. Because I do know that people are going to come at us, Nick, in the comments saying, but what about this pass interference that fucking put them on the 2-yard line?
Sure, yeah. Listen, you're right. Context is everything. But I love the way you reacted, because that was my reaction too when I saw the clip. Before he gave out the answer, I'm like, it's probably like 70-30. You said 75%. But that happens a lot, bro. It happens a lot where you just have this one image in your head and you just can't escape it, and you think that that's everything. That's why perception isn't reality. And I just found that really interesting. As we start to wind down, I think both tight ends in this game can have monster games. I'm looking at Kelsey over 67.5 yards receiving. Playoff Kelsey is an absolute real thing. He has gone over his yardage in 9 of the last 10 playoff games. And I think this might be the last time we get a chance to hammer this one. You can attack Buffalo over the middle. Matt Milano did not play in the last 4 or 5 snaps of that game against Baltimore. He is a massive difference maker. Shit, he was fucking QB spying Lamar Jackson. Like, he is a game changer for them defensively. But I think you could attack, both of these teams can attack over the middle of the field. So I'm looking at Kelsey. Is the Becky of the week, 67.5 yards, -110. I also like Dalton Kincaid, 3.5 receptions, +150. Shakir, 5.5 receptions, +125. I like all 3 of those. You could parlay that for a +800. I think the strengths of the teams is how you can attack the defenses this week. Over the middle, Shakir, Kincaid, and then you have Kelsey. So I'm looking at those props there. I'm going to make those Becky and Trust Me this week.
I like it.
Yeah.
I have a Becky, and it plays into a premonition I had on this walk. Dude, I've used 2 fucking huge words.
Yeah, your
premonition is, that's a good one.
This is a good pod for George.
When I was walking my dog, I was like, you know what? I love Noah Gray in the regular season because it's like, oh, they're resting Kelsey, right? And then playoff Kelsey is like alive. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kelsey's over-under last week was in the 50s.
Yeah.
If not like just right at 50.
51.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's went up 16 yards in one game.
Exactly. And this is why I fucking love Noah Gray at over 13.5 yards. That's one big time. Holy shit, Kelsey's been torching me all game. And it's going to be a wheel route or something that will get him 15 yards. If not, they'll go to him twice. Like, I do think that after that first playoff game, and I've seen this year in and year out, it's like all the attention goes to Kelsey. Even the numbers are shifted to Kelsey. So let me put the over on Noah Gray's receiving yards. And right now, 13.5, I like it. If you bet that right now, that's good. If you bet at game time, it'll probably be at 15. I don't necessarily love it at 15. But 13.5, I like. So that's my Becky. And then this one, too, I found just to be crazy interesting because all it takes is just one play. The trust me bet of the week for me is Xavier Worthy over 3.5 rushing yards. The very first drive of the game that they played earlier this year, they ran like an orbit jet sweep to Xavier Worthy. I'll ask you this question. How many times do you think Xavier Worthy has gotten over 3.5 rushing yards this season?
He missed some time, didn't he?
Very little.
Very little. 9 times.
10 times.
Oh, damn.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I don't see as to why you shouldn't put this in.
Yeah.
I think Andy Reid is known for having some wrinkles, and Xavier Worthy just to get a handoff and fucking break on a jet sweep. Trust me, it's happened 10 times. And it's not that he's barely cracking this. Like some of these games, he has like 25, 30 rushing yards.
Yeah. And sometimes
a couple of attempts
I know there's
too.
a couple, like against the Ravens week 1, he had multiple carries.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have that as well.
Correct.
Yeah. I like it. I like it, man. Anytime we get into like wide receiver handoffs, kind of gets me a little excited.
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
This is the conference
I fuck with
championship round, dude.
Let's do this though.
Okay.
My toxic one for this week is this entire game.
I agree. I
think
agree.
this game, whichever side you want to be on, look, history tells you to back both of them, right? Allen against really good defenses plays really, really well, covers the spread like we mentioned. Mahomes under a field goal or an underdog, it's an auto play. So I get that if you guys are on that side. I'm just telling you how my Sunday is going to go. If the Eagles win that first game, I basically have $4,500 on the Bills, hypothetically.
Right.
Right, about $1,500 if they end up just winning that game to make the Super Bowl. That's what my prop pays out. And then what can happen in the Super Bowl is an additional. So for me, that's why I'm not betting on the games this week, because I don't bet enough to equate that. So I'm like, that's why futures are fucking popping. And shout out to Jay Morgs and to Mark in the Discord. They got a couple future tickets. I was like, yo, did y'all tail any of these? You know, Saquon Barkley is only behind Pat Mahomes now for Super Bowl MVP. And we said 30-1.
Yep.
Both on Patreon and on the show. So which ticket would you rather have? So for me, I'm not betting either side, but I'll tell you, if I wasn't in this situation, what I would do, I would take Philly -6, and I would take Kansas City -2.
I like it.
That's what I would bet this week, but I'm not going to bet this week because of the futures that I have. But for me, if we have to give picks on these games, people want the picks. That's how I would bet this week if I didn't have these futures.
I love it. I would go opposite way in that in the Commanders-Eagles game. I would take Commanders with the 6 points, and I'd be betting on Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs -2. That's what's going to happen.
And listen, bro, if the confetti starts coming down on the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm going to feel like such a fucking idiot.
I know.
Because it just always, anytime you have a ticket against that guy, you just feel really, really dumb. But there's just something about Buffalo that I think they could get it done because Josh Allen is playing the way he is. And you just know that he's going to play at a high level. But for me, futures and props betting aside, I can't fault you for taking Mahomes. But it's how I felt about the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, if you were on the Niners or the Chiefs, I was on the Chiefs, but if you were on the Niners, I wasn't going to call you an idiot for it.
Right.
So that's just how I feel about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just enjoy it. And, I mean, we gave you some pretty fucking nifty props to tail this weekend. So,
ooh, I have a last one.
Go ahead.
Because you said props. We got to give a anytime touchdown parlay. I know I gave the 2-player one before the revenge game, but I got a really good one, and I think you're going to get excited for this. I'm calling it the tight end parlay. All 4 tight ends to score. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz,
Kincaid.
Mr. Swift,
Okay.
and Kincaid.
Okay.
108-1. Yeah, look, and listen. Zach Ertz, plus 310. Dallas Goedert, plus 280. Travis Kelce, plus 140. Kincaid, plus 380. Maybe straight bet them.
Yeah.
Right? You hit two of them, you're plus, and it covered your parlay. And then if all four hit, screenshot life. We haven't had screenshot life in a while.
I know. Come on, peeps. Let's pray for this. Let's pray for this big time fucking victory.
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Let's do it. George.
Yes.
Let the people know where they can find you.
At Mr. George Carmona is where you can find me. And shout out to Buc-ee's. Love this hoodie. Thanks, Pops.
Hell yeah.
Pops,
What's that about?
Buc-ee's is a convenience store in the Midwest. It's got everything, bro.
Yeah.
Everything. It's the greatest convenience store there is. If Vegas had one, it would be a top 10 attraction tomorrow. So whenever if you're in a Buc-ee's town, I'm very jealous. But one day we'll make a trip to a Buc-ee's.
Bro, you know where you got to go? Now you're talking about convenience stores. There's a supermarket in Buffalo. I think it's like a Northeast thing called Wegmans.
I've heard of this,
Bro,
but I've never been.
the greatest supermarket of all time.
Okay.
So good, dude. My buddy Nick used to work there. Shouts to Nick. And when I was in college, bro, he would grab, this was, the statutes of limitations have passed. So Wegmans, sorry. But bro, he would grab the cold cuts, and you know how like you would scan it? He'd grab like 4 at a time.
Oh my God.
So the motion would look like it was 1,
Yeah.
but it's really like 4. So where my bill should be like $120, which for a fucking college kid was like $9,000.
Yeah.
It'd be like $37.60.
Oh, this is reasonable.
Dude, you're the man. Shouts to Wegmans, man, and shout out to the 716 forever. At Nick Dais 10 as you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum or at Veterans Minimum. Thank you all for the support. I cannot express that enough. Thank you for watching. Rate, review, subscribe, tag, follow, all that shit that we said in the beginning.
Do it.
Peace.
Later.
I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison. Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.